The 1920s saw Germany decimated by World War I and a national depression. One of the coping mechanisms for this depression came out through film expression, with notable genres such as horror were developed during this time. However, America, who had not participated in the war, was approaching the peak of its economy. So too did film production and film attendance. Feature films started becoming more popular and had a larger focus than short films. Hollywood started to buy out smaller studios and taking them over, eventually getting a monopoly on the film market. This era of Hollywood is often referred to as the Golden Age of Hollywood, and the studios each produced one film per year. At the height of production, the studios released 350 films in a single year. This assembly line technique of making films was modelled after factories, having hierarchical structures and a strict division of labour. This assembly line had actually been implemented from as early as 1908 by Thomas Ince in the first Hollywood studio, Inceville. This massive influx of films had a large part in growing the Hollywood industry, but the other large factor was the introduction of picture palaces. These are large urban theatres that could have 1,000 to 2,000 guests at a time, with a full orchestral accompaniment. These picture palaces were often owned and used by the film studios, and also used to premiere and first run their major films.
Oh my god!
The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari is an iconic movie for the horror genre, being the first movie of its kind, about a sleepwalker who kills people while they sleep as well, which is mentioned near the end of the movie. The start of the film is used to show credits for the movie, using cuts to change the text. When the actual movie starts, in less than a few seconds the camera cuts to a close-up, which are used a surprising amount of times in the movie, mostly to show emotion. At about the 5-minute mark, the movie starts to change from cuts to irises to transition between scenes, which stays in use throughout the whole film for a good amount of time at least. Occasionally, the close-up fades in and out from the face, and also on occasion, the music seems to fit with the movement of the characters or text. Sometimes, if the text is too long, it makes it start to move to make it more readable and understandable. The pacing of the movie is quite slow, whilst in the Sussy parts, it's even slower. Half the time, you could have been up and out by the time that they got into the room. To add to my music point earlier on, the use of the most meaningful points of the music give those times more stakes, to a point showing them as more important than different parts.
Oh my god!
Mise-en-scène in German Expressionism focuses on expressing emotional experience rather than physical reality. This was seen as an escape from reality for Germany during the aftermath of the First World War. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari is a great example. This movie displays unrealistic architecture that appears slanted and distorted, creating a mysterious and nightmarish feel to the film, presenting us with a dark and twisted world. In this film, everyone living in the town is shown wearing formal clothing, suggesting that they are financially stable. This is a huge contrast to the state Germany was in after the war. Germany faced huge economic problems such as mass unemployment, political instability, and profound social change. However, the somnambulist is the only person in the town not wearing formal clothing. His hair is also messy compared to the other characters. It's likely that the director wanted the somnambulist to represent the reality of how Germany actually felt after the war.